Welcome, everyone. We're going to start in a couple of minutes. If you could please fill in the seats in the front, especially. We'll give you about 2 minutes, and then we're going to begin. Welcome, everyone. We're about to begin. Good afternoon. Okay, I know that it's Friday. I know it's homecoming. Time to begin. Oh, one, we're going. We're going. Good afternoon. I'm Steve Vandenhoven. I'm the Associate Provost and Dean of the College of Technology and Occupational Sciences, and I'm happy to be your host today. Let's begin our celebration by taking a moment to pay respect to the past, present, and future First Peoples on whose land we live and work. Our university is located on the ancestral homelands of the Anishinaabe people, and it is with great pride that we honor the indigenous members of our community. Thank you sincerely for joining us today for this special rededication of the Jacobetti complex. I have colleagues, a lot of colleagues with whom I work at the university who insist that I start every presentation with a joke. You'll be happy to know that I'm not going to do that for a number of reasons. First, they undoubtedly just want to watch me crash and burn. Second, I don't know very many good opening jokes, so maybe after the ceremony during the open house you can let me know a few. Help me out. Third, both President Tessman and Provost Kapla looked like they were going to have a mild heart attack when thinking about what the punchline of that joke might be. That was actually kind of fun. But most importantly, although this is a very festive occasion, this renovation is going to have an impact on the region that's so profound that it really is simply no joke. We think this is a game changer for future students, for the future workforce, and for the regional economy. This day represents the serious business and practicality of the applied teaching and learning that takes place here. Now, your program has more information about the facility's early beginnings, with it being built and finished in 1980, more than 40 years ago. The program also provides information about its namesake, longtime UP legislator Dominic Jacobetti. We want to welcome any of the Jacobetti family members who have joined us today. What Representative Dominic Jacobetti realized in the 1970s was the area's need for a learning facility for non-baccalaureate programs. He understood that many of the jobs that make up the Upper Peninsula and Michigan's workforce are the type that required technology and applied math and science learning, which is why he worked so hard those many decades ago to bring the funding needed to Northern Michigan University to create such a learning facility. And the Jacobetti complex certainly has served Northern well over the years. But with the passing of time, updates were needed, and this recent major renovation has now made what many of us here call the Jake, a state-of-the-art learning facility once again. So let's celebrate the new and improved Jacobetti complex. To get us started, I invite to the podium the chair of the NMU Board of Trustees, Mr. Steve Young.
Thank you, Steve. And wow, this is an amazing turnout, and it's totally awesome to be here. And on behalf of the NMU Board of Trustees, I want to welcome everyone to today's rededication ceremony of the Dominic J. Jacobetti Complex, home to our engineering and applied technology programs. I'm going to very quickly, if I could, introduce my fellow trustees who are in attendance today. We have Vice Chair Alexis Hart of Royal Oak. Lisa Fatante of Kingsford. Missy Holmquist, Marquette. Bridget LaPointe Dunham from Beriga. Steve Lindbergh of Marquette. Everybody knows Steve in this area, I think. Greg Sepinen of Marquette. And Greg Toutant of Nagani. All of us are very honored to have this opportunity to join with students, faculty, staff, alumni, legislators, and community members to celebrate the rededication of this reimagined and updated learning facility. Among those we want to thank for their role in this renovation are former Governor Rick Snyder and our current Governor, Gretchen Whitmer. And also, of course, the Michigan Legislature for its role in providing funding support to the tune of over $20 million for this renovation. Thank you. I also want to take a second to recognize Jeremy Hoskins, who I believe is here representing the governor. He's right there, Jeremy. Thank you for being here. Got some thank yous I want to run through here real quick if I could, but I want to thank Newman Smith, Architecture, Myron Construction, and all of the many subcontracting businesses and their employees for the exceptional work done on this facility. Dr. Vandenhoven will be introducing some of these individuals shortly. But to each of you, you've created a wonderful facility, first-class learning facility for our students. This building stands as a testament to our commitment to providing the best learning facilities for our students and our faculty. The board also wants to thank the administration and NMU faculty and staff who conceived the plan for this building. Their foresight and out-of-the-box thinking resulted in this impressive innovation hall that we're standing in right now, state-of-the-art and industry-specific laboratories and modern classrooms. You came up with a great plan, and we are elated with the results. To our administrators, especially Vice President Gavin Leach, Associate Vice President Kathy Richards, Director of Faculties and Planning Jim Toms, Dean Steve Vandenhoven, and Provost Dale Kapla, congratulations for successfully implementing that plan. Let me close with a quick note about the namesake of this wonderful building, Dominic Jacobetti. He was the longest-serving member of the Michigan House of Representatives, and he was the driver behind the original appropriation of $16.5 million to fund this building and build it originally. Now, in a previous life, I worked in Lansing for many, many years, and I knew Jake. I got to know him when he was in Lansing. And I have to say, and those of you that know Jake, and I know he's got some relatives here, understand he's probably one of the most colorful members to ever serve in the Michigan legislature. But there were two things about Jake you could take to the bank. The first was, without question, he loved the Upper Peninsula and its people, unconditionally and without question. And secondly, he believed education was the key to enhancing one's station in life. And I know Representative Jacobetti will be incredibly proud of the learning that has gone on in this building since it was built 40 years ago in 1980. And I know he'd be even more proud today to see it has been renovated and reimagined for even more teaching and learning in the decades ahead. Again, it's a tremendous honor for us as a board to be here, and thank you very much.
Oh, Steve. I'm thinking that might have been intentional. Thank you, Steve, very much for your comments. Before I begin to introduce our other distinguished speakers, I wanted to share some of the details of the renovation. In many ways, this project was even more complicated than building a new structure, as Chair Young said. There was a complex system of moving parts and people and equipment to staging areas throughout the building and the campus. We had to move things, other parts of campus and even, I think, maybe off campus. All during holding classes and labs and events here in the building as much as possible. The faculty and the staff were incredible, continuing to deliver relevant applied learning experiences and support for students in curtained-in makeshift classrooms, cramped labs, and offices that had previously been used as storage closets. And that also is no joke. Literally, there was someone in a closet. And those who worked on the building were here at all hours of the day and night, working professionally and diligently to get the job done on time. There wasn't just a shift in people and equipment either. For the past few years, we've also shifted our approach to educating students throughout their lifetime to a model called the 60-year curriculum. This approach provides multiple pathways for students to gain credit credentials and non-credit credentials throughout a lifetime. We've really been focusing on lifelong learning. So the 60-year curriculum is an approach to education where we look to educate people from the time that they come to college all the way through their lifetime, which means there's multiple paths to getting there. You might come here initially for a credit certificate and then leave and work and then come back for a non-credit credential. We've changed our focus to allow multiple pathways to a lifelong of education. We're very proud of that. These multiple on-ramps and off-ramps provide students with the highest level of flexibility and a chance to earn while they learn. Now let's hear from our other speakers. I invite to the podium Mr. Jim Stock, Design Director of Newman Smith Architecture. Jim.
Hello, everyone. Start my iPad here. So I know most of you haven't had a tour through the building yet, and And as an architect, I'd like to explain some concepts that we explored to give you an idea of what we were thinking about way back in 2019. And so one thought we had, or one idea we had when we toured the building is the fact that there's so many great programs that occurred within the building, but behind heavy metal doors and concrete block walls, you had no idea what was going on in this building. So thus, a concept was born. We wanted to put career technical education on display. We wanted to make these programs aware of all, for visitors and students and faculty alike to create buy-in, to create collaboration, and to give really ownership to the building itself. In addition to putting these programs on display, we also took the opportunity to make the building really a living laboratory. Even behind me, we colored pipes, the heating hot water return. We colored all these pipes in industry standard so people would know what these things are when they see them in the real world. So seeing ductwork, seeing cable trays, seeing heating hot water return pipes, it's all part of how a building works, and we wanted to really explain that and highlight that, really. We also knew that learning takes place outside the classroom as well. And it was important for us to provide student collaboration areas outside the classroom, different scaled spaces, providing different seating types so students also have a place to hang out before and after class, to collaborate and discuss what they just learned within classrooms and laboratories. But architecture is a team sport, and none of this would have been possible without great teammates. We are so appreciative of Myron Construction, who took ownership of this project and smoothly guided its construction. Matter of fact, some of the project superintendents from Myron Construction graduated from the construction management program from this university. So it was really great to have them here as well. As architects, we appreciated the fact that they cared enough about the project to involve us in the process and consult with us daily on how best to solve any issues that may have come up during construction. Thank you. Also to our trusted mechanical, engineering, and plumbing partners at Peter Basso Associates, of whom we've had the pleasure of working with on multiple projects here on campus. And thank you for not rolling your eyes when asked about putting ductwork through steel beams to make the space feel taller, as you'll see in the Innovation Hall to my left here. Also, a huge thank you to the staff and faculty of this building itself. You took time out of your schedule to meet with us, to plan in detail of your labs and classrooms, and your input was invaluable, of course. This project would not have been possible without the leadership of the NMU facilities team. Kathy Richards and Jim Toms, thank you so much for your vision, your support, and guidance throughout this entire project. And thank you to the university for allowing us to work on campus and providing us an opportunity to affect the lives of so many Wildcats. Thanks again.
Thank you so much, Jim. It's my honor to invite a strong Wildcat alumnus supporter who also happens to be our 38th District Senator, Senator Ed McBroom, NMU class of 2005. Senator?
Thanks, everyone. President Tessman, good to see you. Chairman Young, nice to be with you. I have to apologize that I don't have a tie on. I don't know exactly what an alum has to accomplish in his life before the president feels like giving him a northern tie might be an appropriate gift. But it's certainly the comments that Chairman Young made about how colorful Jacobetti was in his time in the legislature is something I've often heard remarked on in my time there, and that's why I won't tell you any of the jokes I've ever heard about him telling, because they would not be appropriate in most settings. But if Dominic Jacobetti had been in the legislature at the time I was here at Northern as a student, I don't think we would have seen the state go in the direction it went while I was in my education classes here at Northern, which was to turn its back on career technical education. This state, around 2004, made those determinations that that wasn't the future for its people anymore. And I fortunately was here. Northern was making an investment in me at the time. I spent time in this building. I knew people who got their degrees in the career technical education fields. I was a student teacher with others, and because I was music, they dropped us in with the career tech teachers and the Phi Ed teachers. And from that, when I went on to the legislature, I was there with Tom Casperson, John Kevla, and others who were passionate about seeing a return of career technical education, about dignifying work, about bringing back the idea that people who work with their hands are not just needed and necessary, but are dignified and worthy of praise and honor. And Jacobetti, if he had been there, we wouldn't have gotten to that position. But we got there and we've come back. And now we can continue to honor the work he did to start this facility by this renovation and this project, and by seeing career tech education, seeing a renaissance all around the state of Michigan, but led by none other than our own school, Northern Michigan University. So it's my privilege to be a Wildcat and to be here on homecoming weekend. Thank you for this chance, and I hope you'll come and watch some of us old timers march this weekend. It'll be the band never loses. Go Wildcats.
Band never loses. I want to remember that one. That's good. Thank you, Senator McBroom. We also have in attendance this afternoon 109th District Representative Jen Hill. Jen, I welcome you to the podium.
What a great turnout. This is so exciting. I haven't been here at all and hadn't seen the new renovated front until I pulled in. I was letting the workers do their work, and this is fantastic. And I'm so excited for what this means for our community and for the whole Upper Peninsula. The vision that Jacobetti had for our region is going to be fulfilled in this facility. Thank you to the workers, the architects, the teachers, the students to come. Thank you so much. We are truly living up to Representative Jacobetti's long legacy. The governor gave a what's next speech just a few weeks ago. And what's next is building for tomorrow. We know that the workers need training. We know that the technology is rapidly changing and that our world is going to be different in the future, and NMU is going to help make sure that those folks, no matter how old they are going to be ready to take on those new challenges. I'm proud to say that the state of Michigan has contributed millions of dollars to this project, and we plan to continue to invest in the Upper Peninsula. The Upper Peninsula's future is bright, and that we have many new things coming. In the upcoming months, there's going to be more announcements about more great projects to come. And we have the renovation happening at the old hospital site. We have a lot of work to do, and I'm really glad that NMU is going to be a part of that future for the education and the training to come. In particular, I want to make sure you also know that the state is going to continue to provide supports, again, to learners at all ages. I'm on the higher ed committee. The Michigan Achievement Scholarship and other programs are going to be available to you, and whether you come to school part-time or full-time, so that you can take advantage of these new opportunities. I'm really my honor to be here today, standing in Jacobetti's shoes of the 109th. I invite you all to come to the office in Lansing. The 109th office is on the very top floor of the House Office Building, and we look down on the Capitol. So please come and visit. It's a beautiful view, and I can't wait to tour the facility and see all the exciting work that's going to come out of here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Representative Hill. As Chair Young mentioned earlier, we're very grateful to Governor Rick Schneider and Gretchen Whitner, as well as the state legislature, for its ongoing support of this capital outlay project. And you're right, it will contribute to regional prosperity and the governor's 60 by 30 campaign, which is to have 60% of residents, working age residents in the state of Michigan, have either an applied certificate or a post-secondary higher ed credential by 2030. We are going to be a major part of that. Now it's my honor to call to the podium my colleague, Mr. Mike Rudisil, Department Head for NMU's Department of Engineering Technology.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for being here. First, I would like to thank the people responsible for this project. I'm sure I'm missing some, but I have to mention the state legislature, obviously, including our representatives here, the university administration, the architects, and the contractors from Myron on down. But I'd also be remiss if I didn't mention the construction workers, many of whom were here 7 days a week this summer so we could be back in classes on time this fall. For as long as I've been working in Jacobetti, we have provided our students with a quality education which has provided them with successful careers and meaningful lives. The renovation won't change that, but it will provide a better learning environment and hopefully attract more students. The jobs that our students fill, including electrical and mechanical engineering, industrial electricians, power technicians, CNC technicians, and K-12 technology teachers, are some of the highest demand in the country and vital for the regional and national economy. The Jacobetti by itself can't cure the shortage of technical professionals and workers, but hopefully this renovation we will be able to make a little bigger dent. I do hope you get a chance to tour the building. We are still in the process of moving in, and some of our equipment has been delayed by supply chain issues, but I hope you can look around and talk to some of our instructors. They and the facility are impressive. And I know after taking in the entire building and the environment, you will appreciate the value of the Jacobetti to the university, region, and nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. You're absolutely right, Mike. This is really one for the faculty. We have world-class faculty in this facility that are wholeheartedly committed to the success of their students. Teaching is what we do in the Jacobetti. This complex and what happens here is also all about the students in the end. Whether it's in the classroom environment, the upgraded labs and the equipment, or the many areas for student study and relaxation that you'll see when you tour the facility. So let's hear from some students, starting with engineering technology major Dan Burnett.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for letting me speak today on behalf of all Northern Michigan University students, especially those that get to attend class and lab in the newly updated Jacobetti complex. My name is Dan Burnett, and I'm a senior here in the Mechanical Engineering Technology program. It's sort of comical in a way that the Jacobetti was renovated while I was attending Northern. I graduated from a smaller high school downstate in 2019, and that school was built in 1966. It received a facelift about 2 years after I graduated. From there, I went to our local community college for 2 years, of which it was under construction the entire time. While I was in community college, I toured the Marquette area and saw Northern's campus and knew it was for me. I transferred to NMU after I received my associate degree, and then learned that it also was going to be under construction. I have to say that now I'm beyond excited to finally attend class in a building that is new and complete. It means a lot to myself and others at Northern that we both attend a university and live in a state so willing to invest in its future. Whether it's automotive technology or welding, a form of engineering, construction management, or other majors, we're preparing to work in a world that is constantly changing. It seems fitting to attend a constantly changing and improving university to help us with that, and NMU is just that, constantly changing and constantly striving to be better. It was very exciting to walk into a building this fall to brand new classrooms, new labs, new lab equipment, and new furniture throughout, and know that I will be one of the first graduates that was fortunate enough to experience it all. We now get to not only talk about what we may encounter in industry as far as automated welders, the latest in CNC technology, or the newest 3D printing technology available, but we get to experience it while we are still in school. With the upgrades to the building, we now get the best of two worlds. I chose Northern because I wanted the small, Midwest college town experience, and I've always loved the UP. I love attending class in a school where I can walk into lecture my second week and the professor already knows my name. I can ask my professor a question on a Sunday afternoon and be confident that I'll get the response and help that I need before class on Monday. Not that I'd ever put off an assignment till the night before. I knew that choosing a college where I received this personal feel may mean sacrificing some and going to class in a smaller, dated building or a building with less lab equipment, and now I must say that I stand corrected. We have a state-of-the-art building with the latest and greatest equipment, and yet my professors still know my name and say hi when I bump into them in public. That, to me, is the best of both worlds. Now, I keep talking about the college or this building and its equipment, and it is all incredible, but what I believe makes Northern so special, as well as this building and the programs it contains, is the faculty and staff that run it. I can't speak for all of the programs here, as I've only been in the engineering program, but the faculty that makes up my department makes it very clear that they're here to help and they're here to make sure that we all succeed. With that being said, I'd like to thank all of the faculty and staff here today for all that they do for students like me, and I'd also like to thank Northern Michigan University as a whole and the state of Michigan for their dedication to all of us in this building. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. What a great perspective. Isn't he amazing? Amazing young man, huh? I should let you know that Dan's graduating mid-year, too, so he only gets one semester in this building. I think I saw him sleeping somewhere overnight. He wants to stay here as much as he can. By the way, Dan appeared on Media Meet yesterday with less than 24 hours notice, and he was brilliant. And please learn more about Dan's story after the ceremony today. And watch Media Meet this weekend, and you're going to be impressed. Next, I invite a very recent graduate to speak, Hannah Riemann, who graduated this past May from our construction management program. Hannah, are you here? Oh, there you are.
Hi, everyone. Well, seems I was already introduced, but believe it or not, I actually initially enrolled at NMU as a psychology major. After one semester, I decided that wasn't really for me, and I didn't really know what else to do. But I figured as long as I was learning something, it would be okay, and it didn't really matter what I did in the meantime. I had always been interested in construction processes, and so I spontaneously decided to register for the Intro to Construction Design and Concrete and Masonry classes. Now, if any of you are familiar with the Construction Management Fun Bunch, that would be Jim, Heidi, Evan, Kate, and Mike, you know how wonderful they are and how much grace and patience they can have with difficult students. Now let me tell you, I was difficult, okay? Imagine a former psych major who knew absolutely nothing about construction and also happened to be a perfectionist. Yeah, that was me. But there were many times where I found myself feeling very discouraged and kind of out of place, but noticing my discomfort and uncertainty of their new student, Heidi and Jim, they continuously offered encouragement and positive recognition for all of my academic efforts. And there was even one day where Jim pulled me aside and reassured me that I didn't need to know everything right away, and no one expected me to either, and that was okay. And he just told me to keep going, and that's what I did. And then there was a day I met Mike. So don't let him fool you. He is humbly the kindest and most outgoing person you will ever meet, despite what he says. I was sweeping up after a concrete lab one day when he first approached me. He was with a potential new student and her mom and addressed me by name, saying, "Now, you're from Saginaw, right?" I confirmed I was, in fact, from Saginaw. wondering who this man was and how he knew my name and hometown off the top of his head. But he introduced me to the people he was with as a new addition to the construction management program. And that's when it hit me that these people truly cared for and believed in me and were even proud of me. And they helped me believe in myself and realize that I did have a place in the construction industry. Little did I know at the time that not only would these people become my mentors and teachers for the next few years, but that I would also come to cherish them as some of my closest friends. I respected my mentors so much, and I saw their passion for construction and for their students, and I wanted to be a part of that. The Fun Bunch is truly the full embodiment of NMU's goals as a university. They create a welcoming and fun environment where literally anyone can learn, and they advocate for their students to provide them with the best resources to prepare them for successful careers. I fell in love with the close-knit community at the Jacobetti and the overwhelming sense of pride and accomplishment in learning and building something new every single day. Thanks to NMU and the resources and opportunities presented to me through the construction management program, I was prepared to accept an amazing position with a company called ASCO upon my graduation. Some of the most important decisions of my life have been made at the Jacobetti, and I get to stand here today in this beautiful new facility, and I get to appreciate with all of you its representation of how much we've grown and how much we continue to grow. I'm so proud of and exhilarated by all of the new resources and opportunities that are now available to current and prospective students. And I'm so grateful to NMU for their impact on my life, and I cannot wait to see how they use this new facility to continue preparing the next generation of students as they learn new technologies and take on new challenges that will prepare them for their futures. Thank you all.
Thank you, Hannah. I agree that the faculty in the Jacobetti complex are top-notch, and it's so fitting that they'll have this updated facility in which to teach and mentor. Some of our attendees today are members of the Alumni Association Board of Directors and members of the NMU Foundation Board of Trustees. We welcome and thank you for your service to NMU. Mr. Mike Oswald, NMU class of 2003, served on the Alumni Board and now is a member of the NMU Foundation Board. It's great to have him back on campus, and I welcome him to say a few words. Mike.
Try to keep this brief. I grew up in a small town below the bridge, so I'm a troll. But I feel like I immediately knew I belonged in the UP when I visited to come in and try to play football here. When I was in that small town, I loved going to shop class. And there's a lot of people in here that probably enjoyed the same thing. Getting to the shop class meant walking across a football field, a baseball field, and several more 100 yards through snow, rain, whatever it was. And there's a lot of high schools around the country that are the same way. And it creates a certain amount of grit, I think, with that group and that almost a brotherhood of you know, seeing some old faces here is just, it's hard to explain, I guess, the emotion that comes along with places like this. When I got to campus, if there's anybody in here that understands how football works, they want you to take the least amount of credits and the easiest possible classes in your first semester. So I had hiking, bowling, I don't know. And so my first day of getting to the Jacobetti, because I knew I wanted to be in construction management, it was part of the reason I picked Northern, was in the winter semester. And I go out to start my car out in front of Gant Hall, which doesn't exist anymore, I don't think, and my car won't start. And I'm like, what am I going to do? It's my first day of actually going to the classes I wanted to go to. So I start walking. It is so cold outside. I started to realize why my car didn't start, nor would anybody else's cars start. I get here, and I'm looking in the parking lot, which is empty, except for a couple of cars. I'm like, man, nobody's car was starting. Why did I not see anybody? Of course, I pull on the door, it's locked. Maintenance guy opens it up, looking at me like, what are you doing? I said, well, yeah, I'm like 5 minutes late for my 8 o'clock class. He said, school's canceled. You know, there's no phones that I'm getting the information from back then. So my first day of class, I get here, it's canceled, I'm freezing. It's the same stuff I've always kind of dealt with, you know, from high school and everything else. He gives me a ride back. In a lot of ways, the rest is history with this facility. There's a certain amount of pride, I think, with this group, and there's so much going on here. There's a lot of first-time folks going to higher education that come through those doors, and the opportunity that places like this create. I just don't think people realize where some of the graduates coming out of this building end up. I mean, it is truly remarkable. I can't say enough about the faculty. Hannah was talking about them. They truly make this place what it is. And I'm just so impressed with the university for letting this area be, to kind of have its own personality, but not passing over it, investing in it. I just don't think y'all understand how much impact that's really going to have for years to come. Thank you.
I was teasing Mike last night a little bit. I can hear a little twang in his voice, and so Mike no longer is a troll. He lives in Texas and comes back multiple times a year to serve the university. So thank you very much, Mike. I know the program says that Megan Osario of Resolve Surgical Technologies and Adam Pulser of Able Medical Devices would speak next, but unfortunately both ended up having some travel issues and were unable to make the ceremony today. So speaking in Megan's place is Ruth Selinsky, Vice President of Human Resources at Resolve. Please welcome Ruth.
I'm going to pull this closer because I'm not tall, and I'm certainly not as tall as I used to be. Thanks, Steve. I'm a proud graduate of the MPA program here at Northern, and it's always a good day when I get to come back to campus. But let's face it, it's a great day when you're a Wildcat. Can I get a go, Cats? That's right. So today, my other Wildcat, my colleague Jason Sandstrom, and I are so pleased to be here with you all as we celebrate this momentous occasion. We do represent Resolve Surgical. We're a medical device manufacturer where we design and manufacture implants and instruments for that purpose. As you rededicate this amazing space, we're just so excited for you, not just because of this beautiful building, but because of the learning that we know is going to happen here. The ideas that are going to take shape here, the knowledge that's going to get shared here, and the skills that will be developed and nurtured here in some of these fantastic students that we have in front of us. At Resolve, we're already a direct beneficiary of the dedication and care that every member of the faculty and staff imbues in the students that you support. And we share your vision for growing student success and career readiness through applied learning. We're fortunate to employ a number of NMU alumni at all levels in our organization. Dan is an intern with us, and his colleague Dimitri was an intern who's now part of our engineering rotation. I say all that to say that we understand and can recognize offhand just the incredible caliber of the students that come through your doors. Case in point, my esteemed colleague Jason started with our organization as an intern in early 2000s. He now serves as Vice President of Research and Development, where he leads a team of engineering professionals that design life-enhancing medical implants and instruments. He did account for me today, and roughly half of his staff are Wildcats. So we're coming for you, Huskies. He got his start right here, and I say all that to say we see this quality firsthand day in and day out. As part of our shared commitment to the success of your programs and your students, we're pleased to announce today the donation of 3 machining centers for educational use, a Sugami Swiss turn machine center and 2 Brother milling machining centers. This state-of-the-art manufacturing equipment is essential to the work that we do in medical device manufacturing, and it's our hope that it will enhance the learning journey of your students but by providing hands-on machining experiences. Thanks. Not stopping there, as we look to the future, we are so proud to be working with Northern and with Dr. Polkinghorn in particular, in collaboration with our local medical device manufacturers, Able and Mount, to launch the Work Scholars Work-Based Learning Initiative. While it's still under development, it holds fantastic promise of offering our current students and hopefully our future employees rigorous real-world learning. I didn't practice that before I got here. Rigorous real-world learning opportunities in an industry that's just so hungry for your time and your talents. With this partnership, students will be primed and ready to improve the lives of patients across the globe while enjoying robust and meaningful work right here in the UP close to home. So to close, I just want to say to the faculty, staff, and students of the College of Technology and Occupational Sciences, the Department of Engineering Technology, the Continuing Education and Workforce Development Group, and the Police Academy, we offer our most sincerest congratulations on this amazing feat. The work that you do every single day is essential. It's essential in our communities, it's essential in our organizations, and we are proud to continue our partnership with you for many, many years to come. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ruth, for your comments and for stepping up at the last minute to participate in the ceremony. We are very excited about the expanding partnership with Resolve in ways that truly benefit our students and our faculty. And we look forward to that partnership and expanding it in years to come. Now, Hannah mentioned that she was a psychology major and then wanted a job and decided to become a construction management major. And I wasn't that smart. And so I'm trained as a psychologist. And as a result, I understand that public speaking is it's the #1 phobia that people have. And so it's stressful enough to be emceeing a ceremony with the president and the chair of the board of trustees sitting in front of you. But then, the president has the same tie on that you do. And then he's sporting the College of Business socks. I don't know if any of you see this. It's quite distracting. But so that's my segue. Finally, let me introduce Northern Michigan University's president, Dr. Brock Tessman, who will be officially installed as NMU's 17th president on Friday, September 29th. We invite you all to join us for that celebration if you can make it. President Tessman, the podium's yours.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Steve. And I do have a script here, and I will stick by the script, Cindy. I see you by the door. But I have to just say, let's just take a second. Sometimes a place just feels right. I haven't been in this place since it's been finished. This place feels right, doesn't it? Big round of applause for just the feeling in this room. And some of that is the inside, some of it, Mike Oswald, you pointed this out. Even the location of this building. If you're a newcomer to Northern, you kind of see the Jake over here, and you think, gosh, that distance has got to be a tough thing for the faculty, the staff, the students who work here. I think it's actually a perfect setting. It is absolutely part of our campus. It is not a far hike, but it gives just a little separation, and I think that it's actually a real point of pride. It works for this place. So happy to be here. A lot of thank yous certainly have been given already, but I'll echo just a couple of them. First, our Board of Trustees, both present members and past members who helped drive this project forward, much indebted to your leadership on this front. I think to our construction and design partners, Newman Smith, Myron Construction, thanks to you absolutely as well. Look, I get to work with them on a number of different projects, but our design team, Gavin Leach is not here today, but is a terrific leader of that team, and then Kathy Richards and Jim Toms, just aces across the board, and certainly have gotten this project to the finish line in a really effective way. This is largely a state-funded project, and so to the Michigan legislature, the legacy of Representative Jacobetti, to Congressman Bergman. I know we have Aubrey here from Senator Peters' office, Jeremy from Governor Whitmer's office, Representative Hill is here, Jen Figler is here as well, and certainly Senator McBroom. I fear, I could get in trouble for this. It's probably setting a precedent and is probably some kind of campaign violation, but you'll never be able to tell you that I didn't give you the tie off my neck, so I will give this to you. So, all right. And Steve, don't worry, I'll take yours later. Yeah, no. So, and I have to say for the students, and we heard from a couple of students, the staff and faculty who work here. Really, we have so many tremendous people at NMU across the board, but some of our most committed, most creative, and successful programs, faculty, and staff are right here in the Jake. And so you've inherited this really innovative space, and we have such an innovative framework for you to lean into. One of the things as someone looking at this job that struck me is that Northern is special in so many ways, but perhaps most special because we have great graduate programs, we've got a doctoral program, we've got a slew of growing master's programs, of course so many bachelor's degree programs, but we do all of that. And we also have world-class, essential two-year degree programs, associates, and then short-term programs, credentials, certificates, credit, non-credit, and that's an exciting thing for me. It takes leadership there, despite the fact that he does not have a terrific sense of humor. I want to give a lot of credit to our dean in this area. Steve, and all joking aside, because you joke a lot, you haven't taken up much space for yourself, and you've been an intrepid creative leader of this project, and I'm excited to see you do the space as well. So let's give Steve Vandenhoven a hand. So, you've listened to a lot of people, so I really will be down to the last 2 points. Innovation, we've got to keep pressing. And what you heard from Ruth and the story we have brewing around the Work Scholars Program. For a long time, college education's been presented to students as kind of an either-or proposition. So you're either gaining professional and work experience, you're either getting paid, or you're going to college. And I'm, of course, a huge believer in the college investment. But the wonderful thing about this Work Scholars Program is that we have in this area of excellence here, the medical device manufacturing, with multiple partners, a chance for students to come to Northern and escape either or. They'll do both at the same time. They'll be working, they'll be learning, they'll be getting paid, and they'll be earning academic credit. And the curriculum there is driven by our faculty, including Professor Polkinghorn and his colleagues, but it's also driven by industry partners and the needs that they know they have in recent graduates. So the innovation will continue to come out of this place. And the space itself really is remarkable. We mentioned Ruth, you mentioned the donation of the machining equipment. That's not the only cutting edge technology that we have, cutting edge equipment we have in the Jake. It's filled with that. More is on its way, and that's a terrific thing for our students. The space here is flexible space. I mean, what we have now and what's going to arrive, it'll make it perfect for today. But this place, read above, is also built for tomorrow, right? And so as our needs change, we'll be able to swap out equipment, change configurations, and I think that that's going to be a crucial thing in terms of making sure that the Jake continues to be an innovative space. And then finally, and I know Gavin would be happy to hear this, and Kathy and Jim, this is part of our sustainability strategy at Northern. We're reducing square footage, we're increasing efficiency, reducing emissions, energy costs, and operations and maintenance costs. So the Jake fits together in so many neat ways for NMU, for our community, for the UP, for the state of Michigan. Students, this is ultimately for you. All right, enjoy your classes here. Enjoy the lounge space, the meeting space. Enjoy that trek across the parking lot. You can dodge the geese along the way as necessary, and really make this space yours. I'm so excited to see what will come for the Jake. Thank you all for being here to celebrate, and have a wonderful rest of the afternoon. I look forward to chatting with you as we work around the open house. Steve, I'll hand it back to you. Thanks again, everyone. Yeah, be good. Yeah.
Jen, you may not have my tie. I'm sorry. As you have heard, and I apologize, we've gone a little bit over time. One of the items in here is an air conditioning unit on wheels, and you can actually snuggle up to that if you're getting a little warm. As you've heard, this was truly a group effort and is a testament to how many people really care about technical learning throughout the region and the state. Whether it's through our academic programs in technology and occupational sciences or engineering technology in this building, through our non-credit programs, through continuing education and workforce development, or through the Public Safety Institute and Police Academy, all of which you see represented on the other side of these doors, and please take a look at them in a few minutes. We promise to continue the serious business of providing all the students who walk through these doors a hands-on, applied technical education that will allow them to succeed and for the regional economy to thrive. Now, I guess this is the time we've all been waiting for. Ed's got the tie on already. I like that. That's perfect. The big scissors in action. So I call forward the following individuals, and as they're making their way to the front, please let me remind you that after the ribbon is cut, I invite you to join us in the new Innovation Hall for some refreshments and to look around a bit. And then there's self-guided tours throughout the building. There are plenty of faculty and staff here that can help you. We have faculty, staff, and students in the labs in case you have questions about the specific labs. Brian Rundy from Peter Basso Associates. Jim, is Gene here? Or is Jim, are you going to do that? Gene Carroll from Newman Smith. Todd Sabern from Myron Construction. Kathy Richards, AVP of Engineering Planning and Facilities. Jim Toms, Director of Facilities. Ed McBroom, Senator of the 38th District. Board of Trustees Chair Steve Young. Hannah Riemann, grad from Technology and Occupational Sciences. Dan Burnett, student in Engineering Technology. NMU President, Brock Tessman. Jeremy Hosking, Director of the Governor's UP Office. Aubrey Moore, Senator Peters' Office. Jen Hill, Representative, 109th District. Dale Kapla, NMU's Provost. Mike Rudisil, Department Head for Engineering Technology. And Steve Vandenhoven, if you're in the house, please come forward. Is there a particular order that you wanted?
And I belong on the left. I did say it.
The Jacobetti complex is now rededicated this day, September 15th, 2023. Congratulations to all who've been involved with the project. We have pictures. I lost